Grace walks into a bar and what is she ordering?
It depends on the bar, depends on the mood, but for a champagne podcast, we're going to drink champagne, and if we had the champagne of beer here, we'd be drinking the champagne of beer as well. However, we pivot, we improvise, we're adaptable women.
But we have to tell all the truths here because we do have the champagne of beers here, right?
Ooh, okay.
We have it, but what did you see? What did you request?
Okay.
You specifically requested a can. But let's start off with the champagne here. So I brought you this.
Amazing.
This is 50's Le Chemin Dur, but it's 50's new line. So his original one. This is a brand new one that I haven't even tried yet. I'm sad that Jenny's not here for this.
She actually texted me before I got here today, and she said that she misses you and that she needs to come see you.
Well, she's very pregnant right now, so
I was like, I'll be with her in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll tell her you say hi.
I know, and this feels, but I mean, I'm glad that I'm opening this with you because
shout out to Jenny V.
Shout out to Jenny V for her because we miss her. And she was the one that wanted to introduce us, but this was like, I feel like it was supposed to come out last year and it just came out, so she is no longer with us.
She'll be proud of us for drinking
She'll be proud of us, yes. So, okay,
she's got a few months to go before she can drink it anyway.
Okay.
So it's in good hands.
And 50's welcome. How's he always around with these hot-ass blondes?
I don't know.
This guy, he knows what he's doing
I
here.
still have yet to meet him in person. Jenny was supposed to hook it up.
He's very nice. He's very kind. He sits and he does his thing. So,
good.
And this is actually, well, I don't know. The other one that I tried is actually a really good champagne, and I had done this before. I don't like to just say a celebrity's anything is good because they're usually not always so great.
It could be better.
It could be better
Let's
sometimes.
just say that.
But
could be better
this
sometimes.
I enjoyed. So I'm curious to see what this new varietal.
As a true salesperson,
yeah,
it could be better.
Yeah, it could be better.
Not bad, but
don't worry, we're gonna get into all that because I'm so excited to hear about the way you sell this kind of stuff because it's always your job to have to sell.
Yeah, you have to pick the selling points and avoid all the other conversation points.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
something less than ideal.
Let's start off with a little champagne. We'll have a little cheers here. So, Grace.
Cortney.
Say Grace, everyone. Not say cheers, say Grace.
Cortney Bond.
Grace.
Say a prayer.
Say a prayer for us.
This podcast. Delicious. Hey, if it's good enough for me and 50, it's good enough for you.
Actually, it's not bad.
It's great.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't even know champagne, and I know it's great.
So, obviously, I have champagne problems. Now we sip champagne. And you also know I don't lie. Mm-hmm. So, that's the one thing.
So we have in common.
Yeah. So, like, when the reps are like, this is the greatest thing you've ever tasted. And I'm like, actually, it's not. So, this is pretty good. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is really good.
Wow. Honestly, the grapes definitely come through here. Smooth.
You have to teach me what I'm looking for with champagne, though. I just like it because it's bubbly and fun.
That's why I like it too. It's I'm a brown drinker. It's not like my go-to of choice. Obviously, I always say though everyone can drink a champagne even if it's a glass. Victoria is the one. She's the champagne gal. Oh my gosh, that's like all she drinks. She's like a champagne snob. That's not really. It's not me. My girlfriend Lauren in Vegas, she's the same way. Like only champagne. I enjoy champagne, but it's like not usually my first choice. All right, let's stop fucking around. Okay, so now tell me why you wanted to have a can.
Okay, so I grew up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we shotgun beers in Wisconsin because there's not really a whole lot of extracurricular activities to do in Wisconsin. It's very cold. We watch sports, specifically the Packers, when they're not losing. And so, beer is kind of a way of life. We have a few big beers in Wisconsin. I don't know if you've heard of Miller Lite or PBR. It's a really good Old Milwaukee commercial with Will Ferrell that you should probably check out if you haven't seen it. So we shotgun beers. We do everything with beer, really. We shop. We take our kids to school with beer. We do our grocery shopping.
Beer.
Yeah, it's all over.
I will say they sure do grow nice out there, though, because beer, they're obviously doing something right. There's something in that beer water. Okay, so you had sent me this message about shotgunning. You're like, have you ever? And I have never. So because this is maybe, in the past 6 weeks, I would say I had more beer than I had maybe in 40 years. So it was never my drink ever. And you know why? Is it just doesn't matter how many I throw back, I can never I never get a.
It's probably because you're not drinking them fast enough.
Maybe, is that it? Actually, I'm pretty decent at beer pong.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm better at beer pong than I am at beer.
You're gonna give us a tutorial of this.
I'll try.
So
I've actually taught a few people how to do this, although I'm awful at this.
Oh.
So you're probably gonna be even better than I am at this.
I watched the YouTube.
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
Okay, so this is what the guy said. He said first follow the mouth.
Correct.
Then you go to the bottom of the mouth because he says that there's the air there.
You want the mouth facing up, so that way when you crack it open.
Got it. But then so we're gonna puncture
with gravity.
right.
Okay, yep.
So
and you want the puncture. We'll do it on the and sign. That seems pretty, or the T here.
Yeah.
So I like to actually give it a little.
Wait, I just want you to know, everyone that's watching at home, this is how Barb died. Did you watch Stranger Things? No. This is how Barb died, Grace. So I'm a little nervous. If we cut, the demos are coming for us. So like, please just. Okay, so show me how. Go.
Okay, so you have to do like. I kind of like to do a little. I like to give it a
little pop,
a small pop. Ooh,
okay, it's okay. It's a bar.
She's a frisky one.
Yeah, all right. Little pop.
Okay.
A little more.
And then we do.
In.
Yeah, we got to get. You know, you really want a big hole so that way you can suck better.
Got it.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah. I know that will definitely make the B-roll.
That's a good little. All right. So all right. Now what?
All right. Besides making a mess.
Yeah. I know, we're so pretty with our hair.
I know. Well,
is this why it's hot there? Because you got hot blondes that are like chugging beer? Is this the American dream, guys?
Might be.
Okay,
it's pretty close.
Let's go play some football. Okay.
Okay, but before we do this,
I
have taught the master distiller of El Tesoro how to do this.
Okay.
And then I have also, which we did it in the agave fields. And he actually, when I asked him if he wanted to learn how to shotgun a beer, he's like, oh yeah, I've got my shotgun in the truck. I'll go get it. I was like, different shotgun.
Different kind.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And then also I was coerced into doing this on a national call with Suntory Global Spirits.
Yeah.
And people were like cheering me on during COVID.
I'm all right.
So it was for the entertainment mostly, but
I gotta open my
I gotta say I'm gonna be probably really out of practice, and not that I was ever good at this.
No, you're good at everything you do. Don't even say that. Okay. I'm gonna cut my lips.
So
I'm gonna cut my hands.
We put our mouth over the hole and then we crack it open and just start chugging as fast as we possibly can. So
okay, ready? Cheers.
Cheers to friendship and blondes shotgunning beer.
Cheers to Barb. Whew. Cheers, baby. We're still alive. In the right side of the upside down.
Here we are.
Cheers. Say grace. That is the first time I've ever done that in my life.
You're welcome.
I am.
Won't be the last thing I teach you how to do for the first time either.
Honestly, I don't know what I was doing before this podcast, but obviously I had so much to learn. But now I'm, wow, Sunday light and tight. All right, baby. Well, cheers to that. And Grace, let's sit down and get into it, baby.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Grace, welcome to Now We Sip Champagne. Oh my gosh, this is honestly, first of all, I haven't seen you in a minute, and it is like good to see you.
Thanks.
It is like always, because I mean, look at you. But cheers to having you here now on my podcast, and it's important that, can we have a little sip here? Say grace, everyone. It's important to have you here on this new venture that I have because you were honestly someone that I consider has been with me since the beginning of my career, my path. And so I'm gonna take it back to how we met, our love story. I always like to introduce my guests and let them know and let everyone know how we met. So this was 2018. And
19.
Was it 19?
Yep, I didn't move here until 2019.
Okay, so it was 2019. It was the anniversary party, and Vicali, we know Vicali, he's like, I got this rep, I got this gal, and I'm like, rep. He said the word. He said that word.
Famous last words.
And I was like, no. I was like, keep them away. They're always suck. Like, they're here, and they're like, reps are like one night stands, right? Like they come in, and then they love you, and then they want to sell you, and then you bring it in, and then you never hear from them again. You're like, you know, like you get ghosted. I feel like reps started out the ghosting. So, okay. So he's like, no, she's different. So it was an anniversary party. You came. Stunning, which I loved. I don't know if you remember this, but right away you wanted shots of Jim Beam. Okay, so there were shots of Jim Beam.
Seems so off-brand.
And so we took the shots, and then you said to me, there was no liquor in that. I don't know. Do you remember that?
I would say something like that.
You said it because it was true. It was true because on the anniversary party, this is the one, we call it the Cortney party, and it's because I make myself available, present, every single rep that's ever wanted to meet me, anyone that's supported, but everyone wants to buy me a shot or a drink. So my managers know that, like, we got to ease into it. Otherwise, it's going to be like within the first 30 minutes, like 10 shots in. And you caught that shit. And I was like, oh, this girl, wow, she's really, really sharp. So you made us get a second round of real, and they poured it right in front of us. And we took the shot, and I was like, oh, this girl I can get down with. So that's how we met.
And you will get drunk with me.
Oh, yes. I mean, and it's, there's certain people that you want to get drunk with that are like, on that same level, and it's a lot of fun. So that was 2019. Thank you for correcting me. So that was 7 years ago.
Only because I knew I moved to New York in 2019, so I couldn't have met you before that.
Okay, so it was 2019 is when it started, and boy, did it start, because Vitaly was not wrong. Vitaly and I, go way back. We all know from, Yankee Stadium, and he knows, like, not to put anybody in front of me because I am a certain way and operate a certain way, but you operate that same way as a rep and as a human. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And since then, every single time you said, I'm going to show up to a party, I'm going to support, I'm going to bring in this brand, I'm going to bring you swag. There are less than 5 people I can say that about, and it's definitely you. And so I am honored to not just call you someone that I've done business with, but like as a friend as well, where we have developed a friendship, because you're like an awesome human.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's really exciting to have you here.
I mean, if I knew I was going to get gassed up this much.
Oh, yes, but so I had to bring it back
here sooner.
Yes, you deserve all the gassing and all the up, because especially, nowadays, to be able to say something and do it, it goes a long way. And I can tell you that, as a proprietor, as an owner, as somebody that has to deal with, new people coming in, it's constant. This is the newest. And it's so amazing when someone does support your business and shows up, and you show up and you're also fun. Let's just say it, right? I mean, every single Halloween, you are the Halloween queen.
I love Halloween so much.
We will get into that.
I actually didn't get to celebrate Halloween this year because I was moving back to New York, and no one was more bummed than me to not have my proper Halloween,
we're going to make
festivities.
Up for it. 2026 is going to be
we're going to have
we can start planning the contest now.
Done.
Yes, all of it.
I got to figure out my costume.
All right, so we got to take it all the way to the back. So you have to give us the story. How did Grace from Wisconsin make it to the big city, and how is she the master of spirits, the master rep, the girl that's in everybody's door, the girl that's getting things done? Say, Grace, tell us the story.
I guess getting into the industry, I was always kind of in the hospitality industry. I started out as a hostess. I was a server. And then once I finally turned 21, I was bartending. And when I went to school for photography. And halfway through my junior year of college, I knew I wasn't going to do photography for a career. But instead of wasting the money on the first 2.5 years of college, I just said, okay, well, we're just going to get this bachelor's degree. And if I can come back to school and know what I want to do, then I'll pay for school again. But let's just get out of school right away and get the degree, right?
Yep.
So graduated with a bachelor's of fine arts, and I was bartending at the time, making way more money bartending than I ever would have been as an artist at that time. And so started bartending, really enjoyed it. I loved being around people and just kind of being able to name your own hours and, make the same amount of money in 3 days that you would in 5 days at a normal job, and just a lot of the flexibility. And then knew that I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but knew I was still kind of in the right place, right time. And then fast forward maybe 5 years after college, I knew, I had to start planning of okay, am I going to be a bar manager? Am I going to be a owner? What am I going to do, right? With a bachelor's of fine arts and 6 years of bartending experience. Like, what is my move? And so I had a friend at the time who was a rep for a competitor, actually, and they had told me that, I should apply and interview. And the day that I was supposed to interview for Diageo, actually, I got a phone call saying that the girl who was supposed to be moving to Arizona decided to back out and she's not leaving. So there's no position open anymore. And so that made me really frustrated, but as you know, I don't hear no very often, or like I don't receive the word no very well. Mm-hmm. And so I was hell-bent on obviously this job now. And so then I started reaching out to other suppliers and just through LinkedIn finding whoever the state manager was. And I remember finding the state manager of Wisconsin on LinkedIn, and I messaged him and I said, hey, I was supposed to interview with so-and-so. The position was rescinded before I got a chance to interview, but here's my background. Let me know if you have any positions open. And he told me that there was no position open at the time, but that they were going to be posting something in the next month and to hang tight, essentially. So I hung tight and this role became open. He ended up being my second interview, and I interviewed for 3.5 months to get this role. It was a brand new role in Wisconsin at the time, so naturally they put me through the ringer. And I've been with Suntory for May will be 9 years now, by way of Wisconsin to Metro New York to DC and Maryland, back to Metro New York.
Oh shit, baby! It's crazy.
I've known all over.
But you slid into those DMs.
I did.
Look at you, girl.
I was never gonna let someone tell me no.
No, and that's you, and that is
probably why I'm thriving in New York.
You have to. No, I've said this before, but New York is a city of so many no's and one resounding yes. Mm-hmm. New York is a city that's definitely going to say no multiple times, because just like anyone, when you're playing that cat mouse or anything like that, if it's an automatic yes.
You said no to me.
Yeah, I said no to you so many times. And look at us now. Oh man, I couldn't imagine a life without you, but I definitely was like, no, get this
haven't met
out
this
of here.
Girl. We're not doing it.
Yeah, and oh wow, it's crazy because obviously for as long as I've known you, I didn't know that specific story, but that definitely is so in line with your character and so in line with you, and obviously, representation of your success, of how you made it happen. You weren't just going to wait around for it to happen to you. You made it happen. And we know in New York, that is the way. New York is New York, and she is not for everyone. So, of course, a Wisconsin girl that could have followed a certain path and drank her beers and did her thing, she's like, nah. This is, they planted the seed, and you were like, now I'm going to make this tree.
Yeah.
So
you can't tell me you're going to hire me and then not hire me. I'm going to make you pay for that.
I'm going to look at me. Come on. What are we doing here? So, all right. So you started as a rep. So tell me about that first job that you held in Wisconsin. What was the...
So humbling. So I had only bartended I was always in hospitality. I was always behind the bar. And so jumping into a sales position for a supplier was a rude awakening. You think you know what this role is until you get into this role, and then you realize that there's so much more work to be done than just hanging out at a bar, which I'm sure everyone thinks is my job. However, it's not. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for us to enjoy the role outside of the office. And so I remember I thought, this job was just a party, and my boss at the time really had to crack the whip. He's like, you got too drunk in this bar. We are never let that happen again. And I told him, I was like, it will never happen again. You never have to worry about that. He never had to have that conversation with me ever again. It was very much just a misunderstanding of what the role was. And then from there, I feel like I really tried to take everything so much more seriously and really dive into what sales meant and the numbers, and just, working backwards from what the goal was and how I was going to achieve it. And it took probably 6 or 7 months before I understood how sales works. And it's mostly just relationships. Once you once you understand people, sales is just super easy. And once you're okay with being rejected, it's even easier.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be rejected. Like, failure is inevitable, unfortunately. And the sooner you get comfortable with failure, the higher you're going to soar in my mind, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, people will fail.
Yeah, I love that you say that, because I always am the one that says, take failure out to dinner. Buy it
Yes.
something expensive.
Get it
Dress
real-
up nice for failure.
Yeah,
Make
get
sure
real
you get
comfy with it.
anything that she wants on the menu, because once you do that, you have a talent and a skill in
Yep.
your belt that a lot of people don't, because so many times it is that fear of failure. It is that rejection. I mean, obviously, you know my story, no for 3 years. Anybody in the entertainment industry is so many no's. And again, New York, the queen of no, will say yes to the ones that really want it and deserve to get that yes. So yeah, you have to be real comfortable with failure, because otherwise you'll never be able to make a mistake. You'll never be able to grow. You'll never be able to. And no is really just a redirect, right? So if this
It's
is
no
a no
to one thing.
Yes, no
They're
to
saying
one
no
thing.
to one thing.
One thing, and all right, well, maybe it wasn't, I need to change my approach, or I need to change my direction, or maybe this no was because I'm supposed to go this way and pursue this path. But yeah, no is not a final. It's like I said, it's more of a redirect, and failure looks good on someone that knows how to wear it, right? Like, yeah, like I'm always transparent about shit that didn't work, and yeah, I was rejected. I failed at this, I failed at that, but then I really succeeded here. And then it also makes those successes that much more rich when you know what it feels like to get that no. So when you get that yes, you appreciate it that much more, because you also probably had to work for it. So I love that you say that, because failure, and I feel like most entrepreneurs say it's one of the most vital parts of success. It's no one that has ever succeeded. You know, you've seen that analogy where it's like an iceberg of like failure and no and money loss and all of this, and then they see the success, like they don't know what lies beneath.
Right.
And it's like so much like all the dead bodies are underneath or underwater, and but it's the keep on going, right? So failure is for fighters, and only a fighter knows what to do with failure.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So, and not for nothing, in Vegas, that's a real role, and it is one of the outlines is to get paid to go out and get drunk, get loose, get wild. So, I mean, like, you probably, did they outline it correctly? I don't know. Maybe they were missing a couple of lines, but
we maybe had some onboarding issues that could have been alleviating that issue. Who knows?
But regardless, you took that direction.
I was
and then
younger. I was much younger.
Because you're a fun drunk. There are people that are not fun drunks.
I sometimes express my opinion too openly when I'm drunk, though, and I think that was maybe more the issue than what I was actually doing.
Got it. The truth comes out emphatically when
I will let you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I'm that same way.
In a less than graceful way.
In a less, I see. So not Grace. I got you.
Pun intended.
Yes. Okay. So now, what was the first brand you ever had to push when you were out there?
This Suntory.
No, specifically, was it Beam?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like in my portfolio.
Yeah, in your portfolio. What was the first bottle you went out, the first bottle you went to the owner and you were like, try this, put this on the menu. How did that, what was it?
I've got a good story for this too, actually.
Tell me.
So my first day of work was our franchise meeting in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The entire, 5 different states flew in to have this meeting with us, and we were hosting it. It was me and my 3 colleagues, our state manager and our 2 territory managers. It's my second day of work. And all these people are flooding Milwaukee, asking me what to do, where to go out, all this stuff. And I just remember the first day we had to do this sales blitz with our Scotch portfolio. And our Scotches, if you look up Suntory Global Spirits Scotch portfolio, it's not the easiest Scotch portfolio to say.
I'm telling you, I didn't even know that. What is in that portfolio?
So Lafroig is the main one. That's the most common.
Oh, you're right. I knew Lafroig.
But if you never knew how to say Lafroig and you looked at the word Lafroig, you wouldn't know how to say it.
Yep.
And so Bowmore is probably the easiest one we had to sell, but they gave me Auchentoshan, which the amount of times I had to listen to the person that I was on a ride with, say, Akintoshin before I could even say it. I think I was at like stop number 6 or 7 before I actually remembered how to say it properly. I've never drank this spirit before in my life. But
Yeah.
I'm on a sales blitz trying to sell scotch. I also don't drink scotch, but here we are.
Damn,
Now I drink scotch, but
Yeah.
when I was much younger, just starting out in the industry, I was not drinking scotch.
Shit. And not only that, but even to go from like beer to Lafroig, because Lafroig is not
Yeah.
just a scotch.
It's
It's a peaty punch in your mouth. Some people say it tastes like Band-Aids. Like that's an acquired taste of a
delicious.
scotch.
Yeah.
It's like a mezzy, you know, like you that's a big jump, babe.
Yeah.
And then to be able to be like, this is great.
I was certainly putting on my sales hat day one.
Day one. Yeah. So how do you sell a spirit that you don't actually have a taste for? And, you know, because you said, which is important, that it's about this human connection. And so you would have to maybe even get past just the blanket, like, taste of it. So how would you sell something like that?
I was pretty much looking at the person that I was on the ride with to do all the work for me. And I was just there to entertain while they were coming up with the stories for the actual product, because I didn't know anything about this product. Like, they threw me into the lion's den day one. Yeah, at that point, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do what you're good at.
Divert the attention.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is like a
I
smart...
couldn't even say the name of it, so I wasn't about to try and tell you I knew anything about it. I knew better than that.
Just go with scotch. Scotch.
It's a scotch.
Scotch,
We
I love
sell
a
it.
scotch.
It happens to be $45 for a liter.
Love the tape. So, yeah, but that's a smart business move. If you don't know your strengths,
Don't talk about something you don't know about.
That's right. That's right. And then, like you said, you know, that you not fail, but just as in like, all right, I don't know anything. This is not my strong suit, but let me pull out what I am strong with, which is people and connection. Because I would still like to talk to you, even if you didn't know exactly everything about scotch, because I imagine you were still able to participate in that conversation or in that meeting and just be you, which is something that's inherent, right? Like, you can teach a lot of things, but having that spark and having that way of connecting with people, you were just born with it, baby. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Grace. So okay, so then how did that go? Did you guys win the client?
It was all a blur that day, honestly, but I think it went well.
Yeah?
I'm still employed.
Yeah, well,
I didn't screw it up too
great
bad.
scotch. So good job. All right. And that's
So
crazy
important.
because, you know, I am a scotch drinker.
I like scotch now. I love
Uh-huh.
scotch now,
Yes.
honestly, but
And you
I
came
was
in.
not drinking scotch back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. So then you built up your taste for it, obviously, after so many probably portfolio tastings, right?
I actually fell in love with scotch when I went over to Scotland.
Oh.
I never really understood or appreciated what the labor and like the history of scotch was until I went over to Scotland and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So
Oh, wow.
that was an invaluable trip for myself and how I look at our scotch portfolio now.
And did you do that because of work, or was that just...
Yeah, it was a work trip. We were on a trip to sell a barrel, and I was able to go along to see all the process and everything. And it definitely took me from I will tolerate scotch to I understand it. I really love it. Like, am I drinking it all the time? No. But am I understanding what I'm tasting when I taste it now? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And that's so different, you know,
Yes.
like you can't really put a pin on that.
Yeah, I agree. This is actually the same way I feel about champagne. So before
yes.
I opened Champagne Problems, I went to Champagne France.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because you know, because I know our champagne and the champagnes we have in the U.S. and all the brands that everyone's always going to drink. But I wanted to obviously be able to widen my knowledge, my vocabulary, and be able to have, you know, more in my Rolodex. And going to some of these independent champagne houses is exactly that. I mean, I'm talking the soil, the grape, all of that stuff, to see these families, how passionate they are, what they put into it. Anytime you're able to humanize something and connect with it, it goes back to that. Like, you know, that I say this a lot too when I'm with the team. I'm like, guys, somebody really worked hard on this bottle. I know this is just a bottle of booze to you, but down to the logo, down to the what's inside of it, the type of bottle that they chose. Like, there's a lot of choices. Just the same way when I build something or do something, there's a lot of choices that went into it, and there's someone's passion, love, dreams, and certainly with Scotch and a lot of these spirits, there's so much history, life-changing history that the world, was affected by. So I love that was kind of what turned you on to it. I was a Scotch drinker just because that's what my dad drank. And he, so my mom, she would always be so frustrated because my dad was always the one to get me to stop crying. I would cry. And then she would give me to my dad, and then I would stop crying. Turns out he was putting Scotch on my bottles. So, he had this
a little depressant.
Yeah, so like I actually grew up on Scotch. And so
by the time you tasted it as a 21-year-old, you're like, this is oddly familiar.
Yes. So I had 21, 12.
18, 12.
I was from Vegas, so it was kind of just part of it. So
it was definitely 21 when I first had my first sip of anything.
21? No, I was going to say, what? No, okay. Actually, what was your first sip?
Oh, God. My first sip was like a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Okay.
In a basement of a friend's house before we were going to all go to like some girl's birthday party.
That sounds oddly familiar.
That's very Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever was in like the freezer, the extra freezer. Because I don't know if you know this, but in the Midwest, there's always a second freezer.
I do know that.
It's
My
like
two sisters live in Iowa.
It's a garage freezer.
It's a garage freezer. I know that.
And then if it's not in the garage, it's in the basement in the laundry room or something. Like it's somewhere tucked away that you would never.
Second freezer.
It's the second freezer.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
Second fridge, whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
It's for all of the meat that you get when you go hunting, and then also all the beer is in the second freezer fridge.
Makes so much sense now. Yes, definitely.
So that's where the Mike's Hard Lemonades were.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been something that I tried. I don't remember the first, but I do know it was a lot of those like sweets, anything you could get by. I remember also though, my first drink of choice was Jack. Oh shit, I lived on Jack Daniels. And now, oh my gosh, I can't, it's so sweet. Oh, I don't know how I did it for so many years, but that was always what I wanted was Jack Daniels, and it's what I drank. So, okay, and do you have a spirit where you, like that fucked you up, that like, a spirit you can't drink because you had, because I have one of those stories.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? We all do. So what is your story of your spirit that rocked you?
This is going to really sound like I'm stubborn, and maybe I am, but I was in college, and I don't know, when someone challenges me to something, I can't say no. It's just like, I have to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Something inside my bones. Maybe I'm just used to being underestimated, and so I always feel like I need to prove someone wrong when they underestimate me, but boy, should I have just shut up and let that one happen, because I have never felt so sick or hungover for like 2 straight days. And I was 20 or 21, I don't even know. So really, to be that hungover for 2 days, like you really got to do something stupid, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, college in Wisconsin, we had not Captain Morgan's, we had Admiral Nelson's.
Oh, okay. This is already a good story, I can tell.
So then I was in a house with like 4 guys that all lived together. And the one guy, his name was Steve, he was like, I bet you can't take a triple shot of Admiral Nelson's. I was like, I bet you I can, and did it in like 2 seconds. He was like, bet you can't take another one. I was like, bet you I can. Did another one. Bet you can't take a third one. And of course, famous last words, because I can't shut my mouth or just realize how far behind I am on any of it. Take a third one. Oh my God, I was so drunk and so sick, and I honestly probably have not drank spiced rum since then. And not because you couldn't put it in a cocktail and it'd be fine, but like I've never chosen spiced rum as a journey for myself ever again.
Oh God, listening to that. So first of all, triple shot, what does that even mean?
Like
that high.
I took like 9 shots of Admiral Nelson's
like right in a row
in 10 minutes or less.
Was this guy trying to date you, or maybe
wasn't everyone?
Yeah. I feel like this was like the straight. I mean, I feel like this is. You need the phone a friend. Did you edit a room later? I don't know, because okay. And did we throw up?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to black that part. I blacked out, so I'm hoping I did, but I also kind of put that memory in a little box that I was probably not gonna
Yeah.
open until just now.
Yeah, you're that asshole. So am I. It's that Beck, you can't watch me. It's like, why? Watch
what
me.
is
Watch
wrong
me.
with us?
Yeah. That's it. Well,
Famous last words.
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, you're a hot babe, so it's hard for hot babes, right? Like everyone, just thinks you can't do things or you're like an idiot. Trust me, it's fine. So we gotta just
imagine and I know you get this, but when you put a power tool in your hand, or like men are just like, oh my God, can I help you with something? I'm like,
yeah,
not unless you want to hold the thing I'm about to drill into the wall.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and you obviously know I'm the contractor on all of it. That was like a hard thing. I just had to, and I appreciate that there's even men out there that would, have these types of like, I don't want that male chivalry to die. Like I don't want.
Oh my God, I'm not saying that.
Right? No, but it kind of stems from that. There's a line between like let me help you and like you can't do that. And so with some of my contracting teams, sometimes there's like new guys, and it was like no, and I was like, listen, this is my house, these are my tools, this is how this goes. So it's either I'll ask for help when I need it, but don't get in my way. And
correct.
If you can't, then okay. But it's I appreciate the help, but at the same time, I do that with all the babes that work for me as well. Like if you can't carry a case, if you can't do this, I'm gonna
change a keg.
Yeah, like that's how I learned in Vegas. It was actually a diesel chick, Meredith. She was like, "Yo, if you can't handle the shit, Britney Spears, like this is not for you." And we worked in one of the hottest clubs in Vegas, and she was right. And so she's from Chicago. She's like this diesel bartender. I learned so much from her. But yeah, like you don't ever want to be in a place, and especially how am I going to own a bar if I can't do all the things that you need to do while owning a bar. But
nothing pissed me off more when I was bartending than working for a GM that didn't know how to bartend. And then when you're in the weeds,
they can't jump in.
They want to jump in. They get behind your bar and then they slow you down.
Oh, because they're not.
Because they think they're being helpful. I'm like, do you not? No.
Yeah.
Go pour water.
Yeah, well, that's...
Please help me go pour water for people who are waiting patiently.
Yeah, I got you, yeah.
Don't get in my way. You're slowing me down. These guests are here to get a drink.
Okay, so my spirit story is vodka, right? Okay. So my mom, she would drink, like, right out of those plastic fucking tubs. Like, I'm talking Georgie or no-name brand. Any can drink it right out of the nail polish remover jar. Like she's any is any
with a handle too.
Oh yeah, with the handle. With the handle.
It's just more cost efficient that way.
So I was 12 at the time, and I mean I'll never forget this. I was in ballet when I was younger, so the only thing I'd eaten that day was carrots. And this is part of the story. I'd eaten carrots. My girlfriend Amanda at the time, she came over and, we were doing dancing or whatever we were doing. We're like, well, what else should we do? So Annie she always worked swing shift, which was 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. So my house was the no one's home from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. house. Okay.
We all had one of those.
Yep.
Nice.
That was me. So
you were the house.
I was the house. Yes. The apartment in Vegas.
Mine was never the house.
Yeah, no, mine was the house. She was the single mom. She was the dealer in the casinos. My house was the house. So
amazing.
So so we decided to get into this jug of vodka, like an entire jug with the handle. We drank the entire thing.
And we always fill it up with water because our parents will never notice that the vodka's not as strong anymore, right?
Oh, see, no, we finished the whole thing.
Oh.
And
we would take vodka out of the handle and fill it back up with water.
So the only thing I remember, so the other important factor of this is we had a white couch, right? I will never forget this apartment we had. Spanish Wells was the complex. We had a white couch. Amanda and I got annihilated. I woke up on this white couch with nothing but orange carrots around me and my mother beating the shit out of me with this empty vodka plastic tub. What the? And Amanda was in my bed. So this is what I remember. And when you say like hunger, like I could feel like even right now, this story is like 30 years old. I'm like, oh my God. So I don't drink vodka. And that was the one, that was the story. So carrots, white couch, Annie beating the shit out of me with an empty plastic jug of vodka. Yeah. And that was my story. So,
nice.
Yeah. Well,
it only takes one of those.
And we always have one. Everyone has that one story. So I keep it brown, not so many with the clears. So. Okay.
Yeah. There's just so many better things to drink than vodka.
Yeah. I want to love vodka. She's your go-to.
I want to love her too. But she's good for like Jell-O shots.
She's good for a couple martinis. We'll give her. She birthed a lemon drop in the Cosmo.
Sure,
we'll
sure,
give
sure.
that to her,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She can own the lemon drop in the
She
Cosmo.
can own the lemon drop in the
yeah.
Cosmo. But other than that, yeah, she's a little rough gal. She needs a lot of sugar. She's your sweet thing. She's your candy girl.
She brings the spice and you bring the sweet.
Yes. That vodka crayon, man. I'm telling you. So
Vodka pineapple, baby.
she's got a place in this world.
Yeah.
She does.
For sure.
So, all right. So now let's talk about how did you go from Wisconsin to New York? Let's talk about that story.
Yes. That was a fun one. So when I was maybe 26 was my first time that I had ever come to New York. And I remember being just so enamored with New York, just like not wanting to leave. And I promised myself I'd be back before I turned 31. Or no, sorry, before I turned 30 or so. I put a timeline on it, right? I celebrated my 31st birthday in New York in 2019. It was just like right on the timeline that I had set for myself. I was telling myself, no way, I'm not going to be there by the time I'm 30. So I did. I got there right when I was 30. And then every other thing I've ever done in my life, I've put a timeline on and I've always met somehow. So even when I don't feel like it's something that I would have been able to accomplish in a certain timeline, I've found that it's very impactful to set a timeline so that way the universe knows that you're on the timeline.
Oh, you have to. You have to put your
You can't just say like, oh, I want to be in New York someday.
No, you have to set a
Someday's
deadline,
not
timeline.
ever going to happen.
Yes.
So you have to say, I will make sure I'm in New York by the time I'm 30.
Yep.
And I did. I was already working with Suntory. I saw a position open. I interviewed for it and they flew me out here. I got one day to interview with both of the managers. It was a state manager and then the hiring manager as well. I think the one question that really stuck out to me was when the state manager asked if I was ready for the New York lifestyle. And I remember telling him a story. When I was 22 or 23, I bought a motorcycle. Yeah.
Sounds like you.
Oh, wait for the rest of the story.
Yeah.
If that's just the start. But no, I remember being right out of college. My brother was 19. He had a motorcycle. And I was like, my brother can't be cooler than I am. So I have to get a motorcycle now. And my mom was willing to do motorcycle safety class with me. So my mom and I both joined this motorcycle class that she inevitably failed out of. So she didn't get her license. She didn't belong on two wheels, to be honest with you. She's better off on her 2 feet. I passed and I got a motorcycle like a week later. And I just remember thinking can ride a motorcycle. What else can I learn how to do in 2 days or whatever? So then that started the journey of me wanting to get my pilot's license. So I was riding a motorcycle to flying lessons. That was peak coolness for me. I have never been cooler than that moment when I was that age. So anyway, then I
feel cooler now knowing you did that you were motorcycling to your pilot lesson. That's a sentence you don't hear every day.
No. And I was 24.
Yeah, that's hot. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then Wisconsin winters hit, sold the motorcycle to pay for more flying classes, obviously.
Sure.
Because
yeah.
Anyway, never got my pilot's license. However, I did fly to Iowa and back by myself. So I can brag that I have flown a plane by myself multiple times and landed a plane by myself multiple times.
That's a humble brag, babe.
Yeah, I only bring that story out for the cool kids.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that.
I don't
story
need to,
because
there's just too many other facets of my personality to really let that one shine and take, full control of it. But anyway.
I also feel safer now, just in case maybe we do some flying together. I know that you could land the plane.
I certainly
if anything happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel confident, even though it's been a minute since I've been behind the stick, but I still feel I could get it under control. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I don't even know where the story was going, actually.
Okay, so we're talking about how you came to New York.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Did you fly here? Did you fly a plane and land it, and now here you are?
Oh, so then that's the reason why the pilot story came up. So in the interview, he's like, "Are you ready for
the New York lifestyle?"
The New York lifestyle,
yep.
And I pulled out a story about how I got my pilot's didn't get my pilot's license, but was going for that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you just need to be able to land the plane. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, something that's not on my resume is that I took flying lessons for a year and, I flew to Iowa and back by myself. And he's like, oh. okay. I was like, I was born ready. And right after that, he took me seriously. I got a call the next day that they were going to offer me the position. And yeah, I was in New York less than a month later. They moved me out here, and then unfortunately COVID happened 5 months later. So I got maybe 4 or 5 months of normalcy, and then COVID. And then I honestly felt like I had uprooted my entire life 5 months prior to then move to a city where I was going to die, because COVID was no joke in Manhattan. Like,
no, it was
like,
yeah, it was terrible.
It was so sad. And like, that's obviously when you and I got even closer, was because not everyone was keeping their lights on, and not everyone, a lot of my accounts had to close.
Of course, yeah.
We've lost a lot of really great bars and restaurants due to COVID. And I mean, kudos to you for keeping the lights on.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a time, and we really did anything.
It feels like so long ago, but like it's
not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was,
and like banging the pots and pans at 5
day.
o'clock for all the nurses.
Yeah. And we're still coming back from it.
I
know.
Like,
we've definitely made some progress as far as where bars and restaurants go. But, that bullet is still flying through. Mm-hmm. And it changed so much of the F&B. That was, you don't come back from war that easily. And that's kind of what it felt like for this industry.
Definitely.
And like you said, we laid to rest so many incredible places. And it was down to, whether or not the landlord wanted to play ball, and so many owners having to just like, oh my gosh, reinvent, redirect. Mm-hmm. You know me, I came up with the cocktails a la mode, and we were driving baskets around, and we were doing whatever we could, and then you helped with that as well, and and we did the Pride show.
We were going to do whatever it took.
Whatever it took to be able, and like, thank God for that ice cream shop, which I always say like saved my life, but like since it was food, it could stay open. Yep. But yeah, you really, we talked about failure being a redirect, or, that was...
A lot of people could have taken that and just given up.
And they did.
They did.
The term I hear a lot
Not
is
giving
this,
up, but like...
it's a strategic survival.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what it's called is strategic survival. It's not necessarily it's a handshake.
Definitely.
You're always fighting really hard in the food and beverage industry as an owner. You're always fighting. You're always fighting someone, something, investors, the city, the laws, the employees, inflation. There's always a fight to be had. And so then this was kind of just like, sometimes you wave that white flag, or you shake the hand and you say, good game, good fight. I now need to redirect.
Yeah, this is like the nail in the coffin that I need to
redirect. It was the nail in the coffin for a lot of owners to also be like, this lifestyle was just wild. And I feel like after the pandemic as well, people did not reopen to the same way. I know I didn't.
Nope.
The hours are not as long. People don't want to be open that many days because that fight. And then we had to fight. Not only did we have to fight to survive the pandemic, but then it was a different fight to reopen after the pandemic. And then that slow crawl of, a couple of guests, a couple guests more, and then dealing with whom you may be hurting because people felt differently. And it was specific in Manhattan. I remember having this conversation with Matt, and he was like, oh, it's happening all around the world. I said, no, it's not.
No,
it's
Manhattan
not.
got hit so much worse.
And it just depended on where you lived. Certain, like Long Island, Queens, upstate, they didn't have a pandemic. There was not.
I look at the people in Wisconsin that thought I was crazy. For like being so worried about it. I go running. So like 2 weeks into COVID, I started running to all like the normal populated places. Times Square was, I could watch tumbleweeds.
Oh yeah, in Times Square. Yeah,
like rolled through Times Square.
Yeah.
New York Public Library, Rockefeller Center, tumbleweeds. I have pictures of this on my phone because I wouldn't believe it if someone told me this now.
Not for nothing. To survive in New York is one thing, but to survive in New York through COVID is another thing. Is another notch on that belt. And taking it back to your original interview, I can tell you that if there were, if you had to have a resume to apply to live in New York, your resume, I feel like, to be able to say you flew a plane, landed a plane, but that's a great way to say it. Like, land the plane, get it done. It's,
Grease the landing, baby.
Yeah. And there's people that are meant for New York, right? And I say this as well, like, New York is like a Lafroig. It's like a certain spirit. It's not for everyone. It's an acquired taste, and it's acquired pace, taste, energy, and it's for those who it's for. And sometimes your relationship with New York is short, just like a torrid affair. Sometimes it's long, but New York's the love of my life, and I couldn't imagine. I mean, I've lived a lot of places, but I couldn't live anywhere else because she always changes. It's a living organism. So just when you think you know it, you don't. And she keeps you on your toes. And so for those people that are always looking for the next, for the people that want to ride a motorcycle and then fly a plane and then, do a lot of other things, like it's the perfect place to be.
Yeah, and like I moved away for almost 3 years, and I think after the first year of being away from New York, I knew right away that was such a mistake and that these people are my vibe, and like in a way that I didn't realize until after I left, because I think you almost need to leave New York to realize how good you had it too.
Yes.
I remember moving to DC and Maryland, and DC is a beautiful city. Like, I'm not going to say anything negative about DC. The people are very friendly, very sweet. It was just not as creative as I was hoping. The DC obviously funnels certain industries into DC with more priority than, maybe how New York has more creative outlets and a little bit more like maybe cultural diversity as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think 180 languages are spoken in New York, which is one of the most culturally diverse places in the world.
Melting pot.
Yeah.
Melting pot.
So I think growing up in Wisconsin, I had no cultural diversity. And then when I got here, it just felt like, oh, wow, I can finally be challenged by so many different ways of life that I'm inevitably going to grow and flourish if I receive it.
So then the last thing I want to ask, and so, all right, so you've been given a product. They've say, this is it. This is where we've got the money. This is where you got to push. What do you do after you've pushed it to a bar owner, bar manager, and then the rug gets pulled? Like, how does that happen for you as a rep? Like, how do you feel after you've presented this to a client and you said, you need to get this on your bar? Can we get this on your menu? And then they're like, well, not anymore because of, for whatever reason. How do you handle something like that?
The priorities change?
Yes, the priorities change. This was it, and now this is it.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's like constant too.
Yeah, that is the hardest thing of a rep, and that's where you're like, where's the authenticity? Like, what do you really believe in? You said it's about relationships with people. So if you just sold me on something that you said was the best, but now you got the new best you got to sell, how do you go from this best to that best?
Unless I really believe in a product and think that I would drink it even after I'm with Suntory Spirits, I probably will not say this is the best thing you're ever going to drink. If I don't really believe that statement, I think it's just pigeonholing you into now having to believe it. And so I typically try to frame my asks with a lot of truth when I do ask for favors and stuff. I call them favors because what is something that's a priority to me is a favor to you, or like vice versa, right? Like, you're doing me the favor. It's a priority for me, but it's a favor for you. And like, it can go both ways. But when priorities change, just be honest with people. I mean, like, the tides are changing every single day. Like, you can't possibly think that I'm going to be pushing the same product every single day for the next 10 years. That's seems really ridiculous to even assume your reps are going to have, that kind of loyalty to something. But there are a few products in my portfolio that even if I were never to work for Suntory Global Spirits ever again, I would definitely feel confident saying that these are products that are worth drinking. They have a great story, a lot of history, a lot of integrity behind the product. As a rep, you're given so many things that, yes, it's the priority. But, I mean, not for nothing, but you have to look at your account list and say, like, what is actually the priority? Like, what's going to look good to my state manager? What's going to look good to my CEO, And you kind of need to take that, like, that normal knee-jerk reaction out of the equation of, like, okay, this is deemed the priority in the month of July, but by the month of August, it's not going to be a priority again because we're going to move into a different weather, right, or something. But if I had to go back and eat my words, I would probably just be really honest about it. I think that's, like, why people respect me and why they've continued to work with me is because I'm more than comfortable telling you that like we got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Not that I like didn't believe what I told you, because I'm sure I did believe what I told you when I did tell you it, but
Things changed.
Things do change.
Yeah.
And like change is inevitable. So if you're going to, hold a sales rep to their word, you're going to be never happy with them. And there's a lot of things that are going on in the background of those conversations that the bar owner doesn't see, that has probably, I field a lot of those, like, it needs to be in this bar because of X, Y, Z. And it's like, no, that doesn't even fit their concept. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like I say that to my state manager plenty of times. When I was working with you, I said it to them many times. Now I'm not on the sales side of the business anymore. I'm on the channel development side of the business. But I think the reason I have such strong relationships is because I didn't do anything that wasn't going to work for you guys. Like, and if I was going to do or ask for something that I knew was going to be a stretch, I point blank said to you before I even asked for it, I said, this is going to be a favor to me.
Right.
So you can say no to this if you would like to.
Yes.
I've always said that. Like, when you knew I was going to ask you for a favor, I have prefaced it with, I'm very aware this is a favor.
Yeah.
You don't have to say yes to.
Yes.
And you did help me.
Yeah.
It's not like, usually when you tell people that you're about to ask for a favor, they're expecting it to be, you've already like groomed them to think that this favor is going to be like this tremendous ask. And then when you ask them for something really minuscule in the grand scheme of things, they're very like excited to help you, essentially. So there's a little bit of like finesse in knowing that you need to preface your ask with maybe making it sound like it's a bit bigger ask than it is before you actually say it. Like in the same way that I use this example where you are at the airport and you want to get a seat upgrade, right? You go up to the ticket counter and you're like, hey, I know you're having such a hard day. Like, I can't even imagine what you're doing and how you're keeping it together, but I have a really, really big favor to ask. And they're like, oh my God, what? I don't suppose there might be any other seats on the plane that like might have a little bit larger like space, or someplace that might like make the weight and balance of the plane, more helpful for your pilots, but like I'm available to move seats if you'd like to. You let it be their idea to move you.
Have you read Dale
And
Carnegie's...
I always get upgraded.
Have you read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People?
No, but like...
Oh, you'll read it, because it's definitely one of the chapters where, first of all, you're hitting them with their... You're humanizing them. You're prioritizing them before you prioritize yourself.
It's not about me.
It's not about me.
It's not about
How's
me.
your day? How can I help you?
Look, I see you. You're doing a really great job today.
You're busy. Let me just ease
I
that
know
pain,
I'm asking for a favor.
But
you can say no.
Yes, it's all the way in your approach.
You allow them to have the power still.
It's a skill, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I think not enough people ask enough questions before they try to give advice. I think that's like a huge disconnect with sales reps. If you haven't asked at least like 3 to 5 questions before you decide to recommend a product to someone, are you even doing what's right for the business that you're about to propose that product to? Probably not.
Yep.
So
and,
that's like one big unlock for me too, is just making sure you're asking enough questions. Do I even understand what the goal of her business is? No? Well, then I'm going to have a tough time selling her anything.
That's right. And just like you said, it's about the human relationships and knowing each one of your owners, operators, their concepts. And obviously, you know me, I have a very specific design and concept for each of my brands. And it's not just a switch it out here. This is what you need. Like, if it doesn't, first of all, I won't build a cocktail around something that I don't think tastes good. You know that. There's no easy switch. I obviously want to do right by those that do right by me. But then, like you said, make it make sense. Even when it comes down to like wines, for UES is that ice cream shop. Make it something fun. There's candy, there's cupcake, there's something that makes sense for the wine list in this venue that doesn't make sense in the wine list for not a speakeasy or for Champagne Problems. So definitely understand, because on the other side of it, it's not just a sell. Like you said, it's that human relationship. So that human, when they opened it or what they wanted, are you trying to match? Because you can match the right things.
Yeah.
There are spirits. My gosh, there's a Glenmorangie ice cream scotch.
Yeah.
That's like, where would that go? Obviously US. So like, it's something that, find, if you're doing that work and you really want to get into that house, learn the rules of that house.
Correct.
That house owner, they chose the paint on the wall, the rug on the floor, and each one of those homes are different. And you're walking to all these different people's homes. And if you're a smart business person, if you're a smart human, you will see that, all right, this homeowner likes their home like this. This homeowner asks you to take your shoes off before you walk in. This homeowner, you put the shoes in the foyer, whatever it is. And then once you've learned that, you become an invincible salesperson where you are really looking out for them and they feel like you respected their choices and you paid attention to their choices. And so then you're bringing something into their home that fits with their aesthetic, that fits with their motif or whatever with their design. So, and the last thing I'm going to say is that business is an even exchange. I say this all the time, and you want something from me. And so in order to get something from me, you need to provide something as well. And when you both keep your words and when you both say you're going to do something and then you do it, you feel this very strong connection in business. And this is a brick by brick foundation that you build where then, you want to help each other out. When you say push Hornitos, when you say push Beam, when you say push Lafroig, and I say, okay, now we need to make Lafroig baskets. And then you show up with Lafroig pins and scarves and bags and matchbook sticks that I can now show to my clients and guests and say, we've created this really great Scotch basket for you. When you say push Maker's Mark, and then you say we're going to do a wax dipping station for Marjorie, and we're going to do all these things, and then you show up, and not only do you just show up, you don't just drop the box of swag and you say peace. You show up to that event, and then you happen to be that graceful human being that you are, and you have fun, and you show support not by just delivering, but by showing up as the person. And now you're again in that person's home, and you're following their rules, but you're enjoying yourself in their home in your own way. And this synergy creates great business. And this is when you cross that line of not just a rep, but you become this human that people want to do business with, because you're not just selling me on something that you don't care about. You're not just selling me just not like, make my bottom line, make my numbers, make my this. It's not just a one-way street. It's now a two-way street. And I can tell you firsthand that the reason why I am glad to always say yes wherever I can when you need something is because of who you are, and because of, just like you said, you don't just sell me to sell me, you sell me something that you believe in. But if you are going to happen to sell me on something that maybe is not your first choice, you're still going to do the grace thing, the graceful thing, and show up, support my business. You care about me as the human, not just me as the bottom line, not just me as the person that's going to pay for it, but as the person that made certain choices, and you're going to make your own choices that complement my choices, and together, we both thrive, right? Yeah. So, all right. Well, cheers to this graceful gal. And by ways of Wisconsin, I mean planes, trains, automobiles, and
we're bringing the Midwest nice.
Yeah. Cheers to you,
the hospitality.
Because you have all the fixings of a perfect cocktail, and you have this savvy of you and this grace, which is, no joke, but really just beautiful in what you do. And I can see why you're so successful at it, and anyone would be lucky. And cheers to a lot more no's, because I know they're going to make you do a lot more yeses.
Oh, man.
So cheers. Say grace,
cheers.
baby. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Cheers.